Yo, this might show my age a little bit. And I'm so sorry, but
Oh, I will show my age 100%.
no, I'm saying like this right here, this is gonna show my age. So I need you to listen carefully.
Okay.
All right. And Yako, more like and Yako. Uh
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
fuck, I'm young. I'm old. Oh God, why did it was more funnier in my head. I don't know why.
It's
But
cute. Now I am constantly like, God, I'm old. This is a feeling I have every day.
oh, you're not old though. Come
Oh,
on.
thank you. Thank you.
See, I classify old as like, 65 and up, So
Okay,
like
fair. I mean, that is legitimately like the elderly. So at least I'm
exactly.
not there yet.
No, you got a good solid few decades left, so you're
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
40 years young, I would say.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. But yeah, welcome to another episode of OverVoice Season 3. Today I'm joined by the lovely Anne Yatco. This is the
Hi.
episode 50 special. So, you know,
Ooh, I'm
so
special.
hell yeah. Hell yeah, you're special. Hell yeah. Thank you so much for coming on, and I really appreciate you, man.
Thank you for having me.
Hell yeah. But yeah, Anne, my first question to you is how'd you get into voice acting and what's your journey been like so far?
Okay, strap in. So, I like have a long and complicated journey, right? So, when I was like 6, I saw The Little Mermaid, and this is like Disney's The Little Mermaid, came out in theaters. This is me showing my age. And I was like, "Oh, that's amazing. I want to be a mermaid." Which is not a thing you can be. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll voice a mermaid. I want to voice like a Disney princess. And I loved all those Disney movies growing up, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King, Mulan, Pocahontas, so all of those. And like I really, really, really wanted to be the voice of a Disney princess. And all the women who voiced them are some of my heroes, especially like Lea Salonga, who was the singing voice of Princess Jasmine and
Mhm.
Mulan. She's a Filipina. She's a legend. She's my hero. But yeah, and I'm Filipino, and growing up, we're all I feel like Filipinos tend to have a lot of like creative bones in their body, right? And like we love karaoke, we love to perform, we love to perform for each other, right? But then our parents tell us, "Oh, no, 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 but then you should be a doctor, you should be a nurse, you should be a
Yeah.
lawyer."
Hmm.
Uh and that's what my parents wanted for me too. Like they're immigrants. I get that. They just want me to do better than they did for themselves. And I understand that. And growing up, I got straight A's in school. I graduated salutatorian of my high school class. I graduated college with honors. Uh,
Nice.
I have a degree in biomedical engineering.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
No, yeah. So like I'm book smart, but I was also always into performing. So I've been I took singing lessons from the ages of 8 to 18, like all throughout. And then I took more like later on in life. I was in choir, I was in drama club, I was on the speech team. I did like anything that was performance based that I could do from my small town in Illinois. And when I went to college, I was did get this degree in biomedical engineering, but I was also spending the entire 4 years basically just living at the theater. I all of my most of my like really, really good friends are from the theater department at Marquette. And, I basically was like a major without actually being a part of the College of Communications. Um, but I went through those 4 years, and my acting mentor was like, "You should go to grad school for acting." And I said, "That's a thing I can do. If I do that, then I don't have to like be a doctor. I could not take the MCATs." Oh, okay, so I
True.
auditioned for it. And I got into grad school. I got into the California Institute of the Arts, which is a conservatory school in the Southern California area. It's just a little north of LA. And I moved all the way out to Los Angeles. And
Oh wow.
yeah, I got my MFA in acting after getting my bachelor's in biomedical engineering. And I legitimately thought I was going to go to Broadway. I was going to like become like the next Broadway superstar.
Hey, who says
But like,
who says you can? Who says you can't?
who says I can't still be, I suppose. But, uh, I realized after I graduated and I stayed in LA that you don't really make a living doing theater out in LA for the most part. All of the people that I knew who were doing theater regularly were probably, doing shows in other theaters in other states or
Yeah.
doing tours or doing summer stock and those kinds of things. And I I didn't want that life for myself. And at the same time, my student loans were kicking in,
Oh yeah.
and I was like, oh shoot, I need to like find a job to like make money. And funnily enough, having a degree in biomedical engineering and then an MFA in acting, somehow makes me overqualified to work at Target.
Oh wow.
So
It's our
I
target.
couldn't I couldn't find like a retail job or a serving job to save my life. Not that I had any direct experience doing either of those things. And so I was like, okay, well, I have this science degree. Let me see what I can do with this degree. And I found a job as a forensic scientist.
Oh
So I
yo,
was
that's
a
so cool.
forensic scientist for like 7.5 years.
That's so
But
cool.
the whole time I'm doing theater, like I got my equity card. I am auditioning and doing theater in LA that doesn't pay very well, and I'm auditioning for commercials, and I'm taking improv classes and voiceover classes. Like I've never stopped like loving cartoons, right? And so even after like going through like, all of my school and all that stuff, like I somehow found my way into, studying voiceover in LA and cutting my reel and like just putting myself out there. Could not find an agent for voiceover for a while, for a long time, but I was booking work by myself and getting jobs here and there. So like doing some like indie video games. I was doing live action dubs, and that kind of fell into dubbing for anime. And I found that I had a real like natural ability for it, and I think I attribute that to like my own musicality.
Yeah.
My music training really, really helped. Um, but just like little by little, I would maybe work like one job every couple of months, like one show every couple of months, one movie every couple of months, for like this long stretch of time. And around 2018, I actually don't know the actual year. It's like 2018. Let's just say that was the year. I decided it was finally time to like leave this day job. Like it was cool. I learned a lot being a forensic scientist, but I wanted to be an actor. And so I made a real calculated decision, uh, and I left my job. And my husband
Mhm.
was like, "We can float for a year or two, maybe." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And luckily in 2019, I was able to get representation, and I booked like my first SAG video game, which
Nice.
was Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh
I
wow.
did,
Quite the debut.
yeah, I did additional voices for it, which came to me from a connection that I've had from, working with some people over the years
Oh
doing
wow, cool.
live action dubs and anime and all that stuff. Uh, so from there, then I got my agent, and then the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily for voice actors, we all kind of figured out really quickly like how to make it work for ourselves from home. Like we all have our little booths like
Yeah.
yours. Um, and I started working more and more. Like what, less than a year into the lockdown was when Jujutsu Kaisen
Yeah, that's
debuted.
right.
Yeah, and then I auditioned for it, and I got the role of Nobara, and then that was like the first like really big role I've ever had. And after that, I just started like racking that up. Like that was part of the beginning of momentum. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really interesting how fast, or I wouldn't say how fast, but like how quickly things can change due to like one role and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. For as much as I could say, like I've studied a lot. I have like, natural propensity for performance and all this stuff. Opportunity is a really big factor in that too. Like I went for, wait, when did I start doing? Yeah, I went for like 5, 6 years, kind of just doing it by myself without an agent.
Yeah, fair.
And then all of a sudden I had the connections of an agent and
Mm.
just the luck of knowing who I knew to get these auditions. And now I'm starting to like see like my booking rate go up. And those really, really fortunate to be able to be in those spaces so that I could then succeed.
Yeah, I always there's always gonna be part of me that regrets not being professional in 2020 because I was still like casual because in 2020 I was still in high school, so
Mm-mm.
at my last year of high school, so I didn't have time to do it, unfortunately. Um
That's okay.
but then I became professional in 2021 and we were still in lockdown, so like I got to experience a little bit of it, but not the
Mm-mm.
peak that was 2020. But oh man, but I'm thankful that remote's still like a thing because that means I can exist and work, which is great.
Absolutely, and I think there's a play like I think right now like we're in a place where it should be is a healthy mix of being able to be in the studio and having the flexibility of being able to record actors remotely.
Yeah,
Um yeah, I think we obviously proved to ourselves that we can do it, so like we should
yeah,
continue to leave that open.
absolutely. But yeah, that's actually very interesting because you kind of went from the stage to like immediately in studio. You didn't mention like any like online voice acting or anything, but did you end up doing a bit of online voice acting, or was it just mainly like studio stuff from the get
It
go?
was mainly studio stuff because I didn't have an online presence until basically Jujutsu Kaisen dropped.
Oh wow,
My internet presence was me on Facebook and Instagram, like spamming my friends, come see my sketch comedy show. Please be one of 12 people in the audience. That was the extent of like my social media presence before like November of 2020. And then like after that, I was like, oh, if they're like gonna tag me on like Insta and like Twitter and stuff, like, well, maybe I'll like, I don't know, like interact with the fans, talk
yeah,
about this cool show that I'm working on. And then it just like snowballed from there.
hell yeah. I this might be really okay. So I'm gonna need you to hear me out. This might be
Yeah.
really obscure, and I might be completely wrong, but I
Mm.
swear to God, I've seen you in some YouTube videos in the past. I swear I have.
YouTube videos?
Is it YouTube videos? I don't remember. Because I
I
remember,
mean, like I have like a YouTube channel and I used to put like
yeah,
my reel on YouTube, but that was mostly it. Maybe like a couple of sketches I landed
yeah,
on YouTube.
yeah. I think I've seen one of your sketches, from like ages
Yeah.
ago. I think it might have. I think it was a goth person or something like that.
Yeah, I did a sketch where I was like, I got like it was like was she like a was it like a Gen Z goth girl, something like that. I was
Yeah,
just
something like that. Yeah.
being silly.
So I remember seeing that like ages ago. And it took me. It was actually funny. I realized like after the class that we did the first time, I was like, oh shit, that was you.
Yeah, it
Wow.
was me.
Like I would not have guessed. I would not have guessed because it's actually really funny because I imagine you would assume most people would recognize you from like Jujutsu Kaisen because fair
Mhm.
enough, right? But for
Yeah.
me, Jujutsu Kaisen, I think I told you as well. Jujutsu Kaisen was sickened because I watched that really late.
Yeah.
You did amazing in that, by the way. But
Oh, thank you.
about the first role that I heard you in was actually Miss Ames in Class of '09 of all things.
That's so funny.
But yeah, what was like recording for that like, and being a part of that?
Oh, that was fun. Like it's because I mean that's like an indie project, so it's like me learning like how different projects like get made. You know what I mean? Like I was working
Yeah,
with a developer who's like basically it's him, he is the kind of the driving force of this. Like and Mac was cool and like getting to work with him he definitely has like his vision and so like me just like trying to like sit within the vision that he has for it. I was like, oh, this is a I I'm like, okay, I throw out what I want and then we kind of like work our way to like what is the absolute like finish like the final version of the character or like the line and I'm like, okay, cool. uh but it's really good. Like I've only played through a couple of branches. I basically played through enough branches that I got through all of the content that I was in and I haven't gone back yet. I like listen, I have a backlog of games that I've started and never finished. But I
oh, me
really
too.
enjoyed it.
Hell yeah. Miss Ames is definitely something. I would you say she's your most morally corrupt character that you've played?
She's definitely up there. I mean, definitely up there. Top three probably.
Top three. Oh my god. That's something. But yeah, I'm actually really curious because you mentioned you used to be a forensic scientist for a couple
Mhm.
years, like 7, 8 years, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that like, dude? Because that was actually funny because that's like something that I was actually considering as like my second option. So
Oh,
like,
fair.
so
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
you
So
kind
like
of
I
just yeah.
remember I remembered when I like was thinking about like what am I gonna major in for college? I was like, oh, CSI, and this is me aging myself again. The original CSI was like maybe just a
Oh,
season or two in, and I was like, ah, being a forensic scientist would be amazing. Could solve crimes. And I chose instead to do something different. I went a slightly different route. And when this opportunity posed itself for me, I was like, oh, I remember loving CSI. But then as I got to know like what this job was about, I realized it wasn't quite like that. So really what I did was accident reconstruction.
oh, okay,
So imagine that you were in a car accident and you
okay.
rear-ended somebody. And then, insurance gets exchanged, your insurance premium probably goes up, and then maybe that person's like, oh, my back hurts a little bit, so they'll go see the chiropractor, and that's all that might be covered under your insurance, right?
Okay, yeah.
But what happens after that? Like if the person's like back pain persists, now they're going to ask for more chiropractic treatments, or they want to go see a surgeon and get an MRI done. Now that goes outside the scope of what your insurance covers, and that's when now we're getting into the territory where they might sue you. Uh,
Hmm.
they might sue you for damages, for medical damages. And then at this point, this is when lawyers get involved, and now uh either their side or your side, actually both sides probably, will hire an expert witness to look at the evidence and you know do any number of calculations to try to figure out like, okay, what really happened at the time of the accident? Can we determine who was at fault? What type of forces were enacted on the body at the time of the collision? And um based on like the medical records, can we conclusively say that this accident happened and it directly caused this, let's say, a slipped disc at like L4, L5, and now you need back surgery? Those are the kinds of questions we had to answer. And
Hmm.
I was one of this gentleman's assistants. So I was doing all the reading, I was writing all the reports, and putting together his like presentations to bring to court as an expert witness.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That, that's really cool, man.
It was a fascinating job, but I was working on like car accidents or like slip and fall cases, trip and falls, like staircase falls, playground falls.
I'm curious, like how many staircase falls did you get? Because like I hear like people die on the
Mm,
stairs a lot.
I mean, I don't, did I? I don't think I ever dealt with any cases that were like an accidental death on stairs,
Oh,
but
okay.
there are a fair amount of like staircase falls. Like, I mean, definitely like over 10.
Oh, over
Um,
10. Wow. Okay,
yeah.
that's actually more than I thought it would because I thought that's more than I thought because like
No,
it
I mean, I
depends it
learned.
depends on the stairs, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you learn a lot about like what are like building codes, zoning codes, what like are these stairs really built to code? You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like, are the handrails, at the right height? Are the stairs, is there a difference in like the rise between each stair? Are the stairs maybe too narrow, too wide? There's any number of things that you can
I love
make
that.
an
I love how
argument for.
analytical I love how analytical it is. Like you even analyze the stairs, like the width and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, yeah,
amazing.
yeah, yeah.
Did you end up becoming a forensic scientist? Was it like immediately after Target, or was there like another job before
I never
the?
had a Target job. Remember, they wouldn't hire me.
Oh right, sorry, my bad.
No. So like let's see, like I graduated from grad school. I like got my first equity like theater job, which was it was a really good one. I did a production of Medea,
Mm.
but it starred Annette Bening, and
Oh,
it was at UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles, and like it had an all-star cast, and I got to be part of the like the Greek chorus.
oh,
Yeah,
that's
so I was
cool.
part of
Hell
the
yeah.
Greek chorus for this show starring Annette Bening, and she was very kind, very gracious. And it was a really, really cool like 1 month of my life. And then I realized, oh God, I need to figure out how to make money.
Yeah, I did
And
realize that.
yeah, yeah. And those student loans were going to kick in the following January. So then I was like starting the mad dash to figure out like, oh God, how do I make a living?
I was gonna say because like when you told me your story, you kind of like went like straight through it, like because you finished uni, then went to LA, which is a feat in of itself.
Yeah, I
Um,
didn't take time between undergrad and graduate school, which a lot of people like, yeah, a lot of people take time in between. And I think that probably makes the most sense. But I was like, I didn't actually major in theater, so maybe this will work. And I thought it did. I learned so much. I learned so
mm.
much about acting and so much about the craft in those 3 years. Like I could never have learned doing it like half days during undergrad.
Would you consider yourself like an OG what you call it LA struggling artist in the past, or like the
Yeah, I
classic
mean,
term?
I probably not quite, only because I like had this like full-time day job doing something else. Well, no, I guess I
True, fair
really
enough.
was. No, I guess I really was. Everyone does it differently, right?
Yeah.
Some people wait tables, some people work at Starbucks, some people work, retail, some people nanny, a lot of people nanny.
Mm.
Um, but I had a job as a forensic scientist, but I was acting the whole time. Like I booked a few commercials. I did a lot of plays. I would mostly do plays like in the evenings after work. um I booked voiceover while I was working, like that
Yeah.
whole time. Like I was booking work, and I would take really long lunches to drive across town to do my job and then come back.
Oh wow, okay, that's really good. Hopefully you didn't have to like it wasn't too much of a problem for the people you were working for at the time.
Somehow I managed to make it out without getting caught.
For what, like 7, 8 years? That's actually really impressive.
It was probably like 4 or 5 that I was actually doing it.
That's
Or
pretty.
that
That's still
like,
pretty good though. 5 years is
yeah,
really good.
or that my rather my employer was trusting enough of my ability to finish the job at whatever time I needed to finish the job. Like I always finished the job. Like my
Yeah.
work speaks for itself. But yes, I was taking time off to do voiceover.
Oh man, you're living the life out here. I gotta ask as well. What was it like? Transitioning from stage to also doing like voiceover, like for anime
Mhm.
dubs, and also continuing with like screen stuff as well. Like, what's like balancing all three of those and more, during that sort of time.
Yeah, no, it's tricky. Everything that you're doing, it's got a different audience, it has a different style, a different tone. So it's just me like, okay, knowing like what is the assignment, and like kind of retuning myself to fit that to fit that role. If it's a commercial job, most commercial roles are really just like extensions of yourself. So there's not a lot of like pure acting to do. It's really just more like, do they like how you look, and do you sound believable enough, while hawking some, cleaner.
What? Well, what kind of commercial have you been doing? What is that?
No, like a cleaner, like a Lysol, or a bank. I don't know.
Wait, you say hawking a cleaner. What is like? You mean like spitting on them? Like a
No, 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 like no, no, not like hawkta. No, like
Oh, okay.
like you're hawking, you're selling.
Oh, that's what that means. Okay. Oh, okay, okay. I thought because every time someone says hawking, I just assume they mean they're spitting on someone.
Oh, no, no, no. Not in that context.
I was gonna say like, well, that's an
I realize
interesting
now,
commercial.
yeah.
What do you reckon's your favorite commercial that you've done so far?
Um, uh, I mean, I got to be in a DoorDash commercial. That's probably like
Oh,
my
yo, that's so
my
cool.
biggest one. But I mean, like I was seen for all of like 2 seconds.
When did you
It was,
when did you film for that one?
I was like, when was that? Was that 2021 maybe?
Ooh.
It was after the lockdown. Yeah, that was the last like on-camera commercial I've done.
Do you reckon there's someone out there? It was like, oh my god, it's Anne Yatco from Jujutsu Kaisen in two
For
seconds
like
of Zed.
for like a quarter of a second as it pans past the hero of the spot. Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure there's been one, right? Like because you've been to many conventions and stuff. I'm sure there's at least one person who's like mentioned it, right? I would assume so.
No one's ever mentioned it. Mm-mm.
What? Okay,
Yeah.
that's crazy. But yeah, it's someone who like had like an internet presence, during the pandemic and stuff a bit later on. Like, what was it like, sort of like navigating all of that? Because like it's something, you know.
Yeah, no, and I think for that reason is why I wasn't like involved in the internet for such a long time, right? Uh, I mean, I'll be honest, like there is a calculated effort here, and like I saw this as a way for me to give myself like free PR, you know?
Yeah.
Like this is a way to market myself as being active in those communities on social media, or at least like um interacting with it, you know,
Yeah.
from outside a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, I try not to get too deep into any of the fandoms because sometimes fandoms are crazy.
Oh
And by
yeah, fair.
sometimes I mean many times, a lot of the time.
Oh yeah. That's so you're so real for that. Yeah, it good call actually. Yeah. I mean it's good interaction with fans, but like sometimes if you're like too far deep into it, it can be a bit maybe not messy, but like kind of awkward-ish, if that makes sense. It's like
Yeah.
because it's like you're it's kind of weird because like it'll be like this random forum, right? And it's like and like you're there and it's like, oh, I'm here by the way. What's up? It's like, what? That's crazy.
I know. I'm actually like a chronic lurker. I'll just like lurk in spaces.
Oh, okay.
Um
Okay, at least you're discreet about it, which is good.
yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna. I also want to ask: does your husband also watch a lot of the stuff that you do?
He's seen a lot of it. Like he also like watches anime. His like preferred genre is more like the Gundam, like space political space opera. Like that's his jams.
Are you kidding me?
Uh
You're not good enough for him. That's insane. That's rough. What is this?
what? No, no, and he likes Jujutsu Kaisen a lot. He really,
Oh,
really
okay. I
likes
was
it.
gonna say like,
Yeah. No, he's seen enough of what I do, but like, he doesn't have time to watch all the things.
oh yeah, that's fair. What have you asked him like what his favorite role of yours is or?
mm, oh yeah, no, I've never asked him what his favorite role of
Ooh.
mine is. I've
What do you
never
think?
thought.
What do you think it would be?
Mm, I don't know. It might be Nobara. Probably Nobara.
Maybe, unless he's also played Class of '09 and has Miss Ames number one.
Oh, but I will say it's really funny. There's a really funny story. One morning, like like we woke up and he was getting ready for work and he like walked back into the room and he was like, "Oh, by the way, I started playing like this new game, like Nikke," and I was like, I'm in it, right? And he's like, "Really?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm two characters." And he like loaded up the game and he already had both of my characters, and I was
Aw,
like, "Sweetie,
he
that's
didn't
me."
notice.
No, he didn't notice.
Oh, what was his reaction to like finding out?
He's like, "Ah, really? Oh, really, that one?"
What do you mean? Oh, really? That one? What does that mean?
Oh, well, if you're not familiar with Nikkei, Nikkei has like a lot of generous assets, I would say.
Okay. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, the jiggle physics, just they're working overtime in Nikkei. And one of my characters is Mihara, and she not to be talking about video games too much, but she's BDSM themed. And so
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Nah, you're
Yeah.
so real. Oh, you know what? Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, and even that like is in the end far tame, far tame as far as the cast of characters in Nikkei.
Oh, interesting. I haven't played, so I don't really know, but
Fair enough.
I'll take your word on it,
I
honestly.
mean, I only played for a couple of weeks myself, but like I know enough.
No, that's fair. Do you ever watch back or listen back to your performances, or you're like, nope,
No,
nah,
I like to no, I like to listen back or like if or at least like if I can see a clip online, I'll like look for it just
yeah,
to like see like, oh, how did it fit into the world?
yeah,
Oh, is
that's
that the take they chose? I don't know. Like
nah, fair enough.
I watch back a lot of the anime that I work on, not every single one. Sometimes for time and sometimes there's like one show that I did like I haven't yet watched the whole series yet because recording it was emotionally
Mm,
difficult.
nah, fair enough.
Because the content was emotionally difficult.
Yeah,
But it is a good show, and sometime I will make my way back to watching the show.
yeah.
But it will be a choice.
Nah, you're so real for that. Um, yeah, it just depends. Because I don't know. It's more like it's more like if I don't know, because like it's really interesting because like I've had like a lot of people who say like they do the work and they just never listened to their stuff before, which is really interesting.
Mhm.
Like after it's like released, and I'm like, what? That's crazy. But I guess I just gonna move on. I guess from each one, which is really interesting. I don't know. For me, it's like I forget about it when it comes out. I was like, oh, okay, now I can play it or something. Yeah,
I don't know. It's individual how you want to deal with that, because there's always a chance that you'll hear it and go, "Oh, I hated it," and then you'll just like hate on yourself, for the rest of the day, you know. And if that is your propensity, then not listening back probably is better for you
yeah,
mentally. I don't mind as much. And so like, when I get around to like actually hearing it, like I don't mind it. I don't mind it because like even if like you listen back and you're like that I could do better than that today. And I'm like, okay,
yeah,
that means that
fair.
I've grown as an actor. I could do
Yeah.
better today. Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. I'm gonna write that down. But yeah, and I gotta ask, what's your favorite musicals?
Favorite musicals. Okay. I have always loved The Last 5 Years by Jason
Mhm.
Robert Brown. It is real near and dear to my heart. I also listen, maybe this makes me basic, but I love Wicked. I love Wicked.
Oh,
I
Wicked's
really
good
love
though.
Wicked.
That's all basic. That's good. You've good taste.
It's I mean, yes, it is legitimately good, but it's a little basic.
I mean, you're not.
um
I mean, you're not saying like Grease or something. Grease is like probably the most basic.
no, 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 Grease is garbage.
Oh, oh, ah!
It's a terrible it's a
I love Grease, man. Why would
Grease.
you say that?
No, Grease is a terrible musical. Have you really like sat down and thought about like what are they talking about? Like what are
Oh
they
yeah, like
doing?
I mean, it's not. I
Yeah,
mean,
no.
but okay, I get. Okay. I see where you're coming from because like in terms of like the context and like the content of like what they're actually talking about, it's nothing. But I feel like
It's like
there's
it
that
does not hold
charm.
up.
Oh, it does not
Yeah,
hold up at all. But there's like this
no.
there's a part
I
of
get
it
it.
which is very charming. Not like what
For
they
sure.
do, but it's more like just like the attitude of like how they carry themselves at the time. Like no one does that nowadays, you know.
Agree, agree. Like that vibe is classic, and I totally understand that. But that's
Okay, fair
garbage.
enough.
But also like I love Hamilton. I love Waitress. Waitress the
Mm,
musical is fantastic. Um, there's like no, I'm like only thinking about like stuff in like the last like 10 years, but like classic musicals, out of like classic musicals, I have a real soft spot in my heart for The Music Man. It's so silly.
the
But
music.
like I did The Music Man when I was in high school, and like I like I love it. I love that. I love that like fast talk patter that the male lead does. It's great. Um and then I also and this is actually basic, but I have a soft spot in my heart for Bye Bye Birdie because I've played Rosie twice.
Oh, I love Bye Bye Birdie.
I
Hell
played
yeah.
Rosie in high school and in college and in undergrad, and I've got a soft spot in my heart for that musical.
Oh,
Um
that's so sweet. Bye Bye Birdie's not basic.
it's a really silly one.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a throwback. I love Bye Bye Birdie. That was
Yeah.
I remember watching it like a school production do it and but back in like was it like 2011? Yeah, that's
Mm.
when my school did it at the time. But I also saw the movie as well, which was, it was all right, but yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. Fair.
yeah, what about jukebox musicals? Do you ever listen or watch those or nah?
I enjoy jukebox musicals. I just feel like as far as I think the for my tastes, the best jukebox musical was probably Jersey Boys because it came with
Ooh,
like the actual story of the Jersey Boys.
true.
A lot of times with jukebox musicals, you're like cramming it into a plot, that's like not
Yeah,
necessarily
like
like pre-existing.
it
Um,
depends. Like, is
Kind of depends.
would you consider Mamma Mia to be a jukebox musical or nah?
Oh, Mamma Mia is 100% a jukebox musical, but I love it.
Yeah,
I love Mamma Mia. It's so silly.
because like my favorite musical is American Idiot, the Broadway musical.
Oh no, totally.
And
That's a good
it's
one.
really interesting because like it wasn't made to be a musical, but like there was like
Hmm.
a story line that the album
Yeah,
had.
woven throughout. Yeah.
Yeah, so like it definitely did work. But like Jesus Christ, like it's 20 years old, like that album now. I'm like that made me
Oh
feel old
yeah.
today. So like,
Oh yeah. For sure. Oh, definitely makes me feel. Oh, Hades Town. Oh, Hades
oh,
Town
Hades
broke my
Town.
heart. Hades Town broke my heart so much. It was
Yeah.
great. And last year wait, when did I go to New York for NYCC? That was
Oh,
2023. Yeah, so last year I went to New York for New York Comic Con, and
oh, cool.
I was like, I need to go see some like Broadway shows. I always say that when I go to New York. I need to see at least one Broadway show when I'm in New York. And I went to go see Here Lies Love, which
Oh,
was the musical. about Imelda Marcos. So it was like very Filipino, all Filipino cast. Like it was an experience, and I really did enjoy the musical, and like I cried buckets afterward because I was just
Oh,
like, these are my people. We are being
oh,
seen. This
that's
is
so
an
sweet.
experience I'll never forget. Like it's already a controversial topic, right? Because like she's a problematic figure in the Philippines history, right? And so like there was a lot of uh discourse about like should we even be having a musical about her? And I thought we shouldn't necessarily like not make, media about her as long as that media is doing a good job of presenting it in a way that's not glorifying. And I
Yeah.
thought, in some ways it succeeded and in some ways it didn't. Um, but it was a beautiful show. And again, I cried buckets because my people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
think
yeah,
we
I just wanted to ask as well, because I tried Filipino food for the first time this year. I loved it. But what's your favorite? What's your favorite Filipino food?
My favorite Filipino dish is called pata.
Mm.
Paksiw na pata is my favorite dish, and it's a braised pork hocks
Oh,
with
okay.
in like a it's kind of like a brown sugar soy sauce,
That sounds
uh,
nice.
with banana blossom.
Mm.
It's great.
Hell yeah.
It's fantastic.
I forget what the name of it is, but it was like an egg, and but like the bird was still inside. I
Oh,
forget what
you
it's
had
called.
balot? Oh
Yeah.
wow, you went hardcore for your first time trying Filipino food.
Yeah, I was like I've eaten so many weird food over the years. So like it's actually not the weirdest thing I've eaten. So like
Fair.
because
Yeah.
five years ago I went to Cambodia for a refugee trip. So we ended up going all around to like the different sort of towns and areas
Hmm.
when we were not in the slums. And their food there is amazingly weird, but I love it because you can eat like insects, scorpions, crocodiles, snakes.
Ah,
Like I got to try snake.
cool.
It was like snake on a stick. It was actually really nice. It like you wouldn't think it, right? Crocodile is okay. I had a crocodile burger, which wasn't
Mhm.
the greatest because like the it was very chewy. Um,
Oh yeah.
which I can understand. 'Cause, it's a literal crocodile, right? You would
Yeah.
kind of assume that, right?
He doesn't seem like he'd be very tender.
Yeah, but yeah, so when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, this is just another Tuesday for me. Uh, but it was actually quite nice. It was really good. I didn't know it was a common dish, because I've seen images of it in the past, but like
Yeah.
it was actually really nice. I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I need to go back because
Cool.
there's not a lot of Filipino restaurants where I'm at right now. So they're really hard to find here, but they're quite nice. I really enjoy it.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Hell
I
yeah.
recommend you trying more. It's the Filipino cuisine is so unique because its flavor profile is so like sweet sour. Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet, sweet,
Yeah.
sour. I like that. So
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask as well, totally unrelated, but
Mhm.
you still play Pokemon Go, is that right?
I mean, by still, I mean I picked it back up in February of this year.
Okay. All right. All
Yeah.
right. How's it been going? How's it been going so far?
Pretty good. Right, we're rating whenever I can. I just picked up this morning. What was the name of that one? It's like a deer, Xerneas. Yeah,
Xerneas, yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I was like, that was a cool one.
Hell yeah. Okay, so like
Yeah,
you didn't start from scratch. It was more like just picking it up after a couple years.
yeah. I mean, I hadn't played since 2017, so
Oh
it had
wow,
been a
okay.
really long break. Oh, what did I get the other day? Oh, the other day was Beldam Community Day,
Oh
and
yeah.
uh I did like some trading with my friend Jonathan after catching like hundreds of these guys, and I got a lucky perfect Beldam.
Oh, that's
So now I have
so sick.
a
Let's
lucky
go.
perfect Metagross, and he's perfect.
Nice. Pokemon Go is interesting because like when Pokemon Go came out, I wasn't allowed a phone. Well, I no,
Oh,
I because I had a phone, but it was like an old Nokia flip phone in 2016. So like, because parents. But then I ended up getting a phone in 2018. So I was a bit late to Pokemon Go. Um,
oh, fair.
but when I started, I was able to do a lot of grinding, and surprisingly, the peak of Pokemon Go for me was 2020 because like since they knew that everyone was like locked out of their
Yeah.
of walking around, they actually just brought everything to you. So like that was like the peak time, like max out everything, and it was great. I uh I think I remember the first thing I wanted to do when Pokemon Go came out when I saw the trailer for it. It was like I just wanted Mewtwo. Um,
Yeah, for
I
sure.
got Mewtwo, and I was like, okay, all right, my job here is done. So I evolve all the Pokemon that I like pretty much, and then
Yeah.
yeah, otherwise like the main journey is pretty much over. But dude, if you want New Zealand gifts, I'm more than happy to friend you and
Oh,
send some.
hell yeah. I was gonna say, like, you want to be friends?
Oh, absolutely. Like
Yeah,
we weren't friends before. What the fuck, man?
I know,
Jesus.
right? DM me, we'll be fine.
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
let's get that going. Hell yeah.
I just finally finished the Kanto region Pokedex. I was very proud of myself.
Oh, congratulations. Let's go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, now a very important question. What team are you on?
Oh, Mystic.
Damn
Oh
it.
no, what team are you on?
I'm Team Instinct.
No!
Everyone,
Boo.
everybody hates Team Instinct, but why? Like
I don't know.
they had like some sort of medallion thing where it's like you have to pay money to switch teams. Like that's so
Oh,
tragic.
dang.
Like that's like can you imagine that? Like you were just imagine like switching teams because you
Ew.
but not me, man. I'm loyal to the cause.
There you go. Yeah.
Who's your
You got team spirit.
hell yeah. Who's your strongest Pokemon actually?
I think my strongest Pokemon is still my Salamence. I have a
Oh,
Salamence. I haven't yet like powered up any Pokemon like to the limit yet.
oh yeah.
So I keep running out of Stardust. It's a problem.
Oh yeah. I I have the opposite problem. I have too much Stardust.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Yeah. But I'm really bad with like uh making sure the bag has enough space.
Oh God, it's a problem.
Yeah, because I do not want to pay for space. But like, if you were to check my bag right now, the limit's like 500, and there's like over 1,000 things in that bag. So like,
How did you manage that?
see, the thing is, I keep getting a lot of gifts and from people. So like and like Pokeballs from like quests and things like that. So they
Oh
kind
yeah,
of instead of like capping up and keeping them somewhere else, they just keep stacking up. So they're still in the bag,
that's
But
so funny.
the sad part is I can't like go to if I go to a Pokestop or something and spin
Yeah,
around,
you
I
can't
get I
spin
get
it.
I get nothing.
Yeah, it's too
But
bad.
I have so many gifts that I want to give to people from all over. So please take my gifts and please.
Okay. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Happily.
Hell yeah. But yeah, I also wanted to ask, because you mentioned you went to Comic Con. Were you a guest or were you just visiting?
No, I was at New York Comic Con. I was a guest last year, which was really cool.
Hell yeah, what was that like?
It was cool. It was rad. So like we were down in the autograph area. It's just like a big room, and it's just like down each side of this giant like room. It's just voice actor or well actor performer after performer, right? And so you have like it was me and Anna MacArthur and KG Tang from Jujutsu Kaisen were here, and then like down our row you had like David Tennant, you had
Oh
like
wow.
people from like Guardians of the Galaxy, you had the Critical Role people were on the other side. The cast of Chainsaw Man was on the other side. People from like Final Fantasy, obviously. Uh, and then just like actors of stage and screen, just like all over the place. Oh, the Animaniacs were there. That was
Oh,
awesome. They're
that's
so
so
kind.
cool.
But yeah, like and thousands more. But then they kept like the real big ticket talent were like in a separate area. It's like the people who went to go see like Tom Hiddleston or
Oh, he was there.
Ewan
Wow.
McGregor. Yeah. Yeah. Like you
Hell
had to go
yeah.
to a totally different area. I was like, oh, okay, that's
Was
super
that your
special.
first time at Comic Con as well, or?
Yeah, that was my first time at New York Comic Con was guesting,
Oh, that.
which is really
Oh,
cool.
wow. That's something, right? I mean, that means you can only come to Comic Con as a guest now. You can never go as a normal person
I
after that.
guess so, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, keep booking work in so you can keep being a guest at Comic
Hopefully.
Con.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
Hell yeah. I've never been to Comic Con. We don't have a lot of conventions here in New Zealand. We have like one, and that's like the main one.
Yeah. I want to
But
go. I want to go to New Zealand so bad.
dude, you should if I should request you to come, and then we can.
Request me to come. Take me to the Hobbit, the,
Oh, you want to
the
go to
Hobbit set.
you want to go to Hobbiton?
Yes, please.
Hell yeah, I'll give you a tour. I'll give you a
Let's
tour.
go.
Hell yeah, I'll even pay for your tickets. Just get
No,
over
you don't
here,
have to
man.
pay for my ticket. Stop. No, I'll pay for your ticket.
No, I live here. But yeah, I'm just interested. Like, what does Anne Yatco do in her spare time?
In her spare time, I mean, there's a lot of Pokemon Go happening.
Yeah.
Um, I play a lot of games. My husband and I play, well, we've kind of like been off and on, but we play a fair amount of Helldivers.
Mm.
It's just really fun to do with our friends. Or, well, like I'm just like hanging out with friends. We just recently redid our backyards. Now we have a place to like entertain friends.
Oh,
And so
that's so
like
cool.
we had family over last weekend. So I got to see some like my niece and one of my niece and nephews. And we were just like playing in the backyard. It was really, really cute.
Hell yeah. You
Um,
got a do you have a garden in the backyard or anything like that or?
Yeah, my husband is the one with the green thumb between the two of us, and he really wants to start like a garden. Not like anything like super crazy, but he wants to get a few raised beds to like plant
Mm.
tomatoes and
Mm.
I don't know, squash probably. Those are
Fuck
easy.
yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are easier to, yeah.
No, it's fair. I used to have this is such a I'm such a piece of shit for this. When I was really young, so keep in
Yeah.
mind I was like 5 or 6.
Uh-huh.
Um, Me and my neighbors we lived really close to each other. Of course, because we're neighbors, but we also went to each other's houses a lot.
Hmm.
Um, and my neighbors had like a strawberry plant.
Oh, nice.
To so when they weren't looking, I would always steal strawberries, and they would always wonder, "Hey, where my strawberries keep missing? Is it possums?" But
It's just
I
you.
it's just me. I don't think I ever told them that when we moved as well. So that
Oh,
so like if I ever
this
meet
is your
them,
confession.
it's my confession. If they're watching, even though it's been like I don't know what, like over 15 years, I'm so sorry. Please
You're the
forgive me.
strawberry thief.
Don't say that, man. I have to put that on my resume now.
Oh,
Actually, Matt,
dang.
I'm curious. Do you put the your biomed degree on your resume, like voice resume, or nah?
Uh, did I? I know at least on one version of my resume it was on there. I don't know what version of the resume I'm on now.
Fair
I mean,
enough.
I honestly like it's funny, like once you like at some point, like me having like a paper or even just a digital like PDF version of my resume, as far as voice acting became less and less important. Um, so yeah, I haven't touched like and I don't touch it until someone asks for one and I'm like, let me add stuff.
You know what? Fair enough. I mean, right now it's probably a good time because of the strikey wikey going on right
That's
now.
true. I could update that sucker. You know
Hell
what? This
yeah.
is a great time for me to actually touch my website. I haven't touched my website in forever. I don't
Really?
know.
Oh yeah.
It's so out of date.
When was the last time
Wait, let me
you looked at it?
oh, months at least. Wait, let me like pull it up
That's
right now and
fine. That's
let's find
fine,
out.
right? All right, let's go.
No, because like because the first part of my website tells you like what conventions I'm gonna be at soon.
Oh,
So how out
right,
of
right.
date are we? How out of date are we? Upload. Okay, well, it's taking its sweet time. In the meantime, oh, there it is. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oh,
Mm.
oh,
February. February was the last time I uploaded that because I had
oh, wow.
signings listed from February through May.
You
I
know what?
was good
That's
through May.
hey, you know what? That's totally fair. You've been like all over the place, so it's okay. I'll let you off on this one, and
Thank you. Thank you so much.
actually, like, what's it like just going from like signing to signing? Because I feel like you've just been like on a signing like world tour at the moment, you know?
Especially, well, yeah, especially in the first like 6 months of the year, it was really, really heavy. And I would be gone for like 2 weeks at a time, 3 weeks at a time. And at one point I was gone for 5 weekends in a row.
Wow.
Um, well, the last two were because they were for the same convention. I just like stayed. I was in Singapore. I stayed in Singapore for an extra full week.
Oh, nice. I love
Which
Singapore.
was rad. I'd never been and I loved it and I want to go back. That
did you go to Universal Studios on Sentosa?
that was like the one thing I didn't get to go to because
Oh,
halfway through my week, I caught a really, really bad sinus infection.
oh
And I
no.
was just like I was a little miserable the rest of the trip. So we would do like one thing and then I'd have to go back to the hotel and just rest. So but I got to go to the gardens.
Mm,
We went to Gardens by the Bay. We went to what was the other thing? I went to this place, it's called Haw Villa. That was super
yeah, I love
interesting.
Harvard. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And like the whole Hell's Museum was so cool.
hell yeah.
Those were the two things like I knew I needed to do.
And the airport, of course.
Yeah. Unfortunately, like we came in and left from the newest terminal, so we weren't
Oh,
even in the coolest part of it,
oh man. I
which is
mean, you.
such a bummer.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could just take like a train and just go over there.
That's true. We could have done that, but also I was really tired and had a sinus infection. So
No,
the thought
fair.
of doing anything extra like made me real sad.
Yeah, what's like the longest flight you've been for, like to a con somewhere?
I mean, it was that one because we didn't do a one-way trip. So like we had a couple of legs. And so it was just a long day. Like it
Yeah.
was a full day of traveling. That's probably the longest I've ever had to travel for like a convention.
Oh yeah, because if you ever come to New Zealand, then I'm telling you right now, you probably need to stop at Singapore and then come to New Zealand after
Okay,
that.
fair,
So like
fair. Yeah,
so you can try the airport again and see how it goes, I guess.
true. Yeah.
Because for
We
me,
went to
yeah, because Singapore's like a
yeah.
common place, like a stop off, like for me most of the time. Because like if I wanted to
Oh,
like go to India or something, I would fly to Singapore and then
and
go.
then over.
Because like we're like
Oh,
very very close. Like Australia is like the closest. And
right.
So is Antarctica, but I don't want to go to Antarctica right now.
No,
But
fair. Yeah. I've been to Australia. I
nice.
did Crunchyroll, the one Crunchyroll Expo Australia that ever
Hmm.
happened there was the one I went to. And that was really cool. And Melbourne was so
Mm.
rad.
Hell yeah! I'm gonna be going in
Yeah.
October, so I'm gonna have a
Oh,
fun time.
heck yeah.
Hell yeah! But yeah, you went to Melbourne. When did you go to Australia? Like what year was that?
That was in 2022.
Oh, okay, not too long ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just a couple years ago. It was cool. I had the best time in Melbourne.
nice. How long were you there for? Like a week?
Just I think just about a week. I think we were only there for a week. Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Melbourne's such a cool city because it's really easy to get around. Like their public
yeah,
transportation is so good.
yeah. I hear of that. I hear that. Last time I went to Melbourne was like 10 years ago, so it's been a while.
Mm,
So I want to go back. I mainly want to
yeah.
go back because I want to go to IKEA because like I love IKEA, and we don't have that here. We just got Costco, so
Oh,
like
oh, okay, fair. I mean,
we
Costco's great.
it's all right. Like I prefer IKEA because they got the meatballs and stuff. So like
Fair.
that blew my
Yeah.
mind as a kid, man. When I got to I got to go to IKEA because like it was so big, and I love furniture shopping. That's like a weird thing I like to do.
Mm,
Like I love furniture shopping.
nice.
So like it just blew my mind, and you can eat there as well. Oh man, this is great. Why don't more people come to IKEA? This is amazing.
For sure.
Costco is all right. We end up getting a lot of things pretty late over here. Um,
Uh,
like it was we only got like a Taco Bell well, like 5 years ago. So
oh
like
wow.
so
Okay.
yeah, so like we and same with Denny's, like Denny's and stuff like that. So
Huh.
we're like we're very on the bottom of the planet. So like it takes a lot of for like things to come.
Okay. Fair
Like
enough.
Target, Walmart, what even is that?
I see. I see.
Yeah. But I haven't been to America yet. I'm planning to go next year because
Ooh.
I feel like it'd be really fun. But like I feel like it'd be really interesting as well because like anywhere except for the Vatican City is bigger than New Zealand. So like
Mm.
it's always gonna be like a journey for me. It's like a little fish in a big pond, if that makes
Ooh,
sense.
fair. Yeah,
A really
yeah,
big pond. So like
yeah. Really one. Really big one. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, did you because you mentioned that you grew up in America, so like in Illinois, is that
Mhm.
right? So
For the
Chicago?
most part,
Yeah.
yeah, we moved around a little bit when I was a kid. Like I was born in Phoenix,
Mm.
Arizona, and then we moved around a little bit, but then we basically landed in Illinois, which we lived like a little bit outside of the Chicago suburbs. So we were a little bit in the cornfields.
Oh, true. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in America?
Uh, you know, I mean, what's funny is like I the it's such an interesting question because it's like how it was like growing up in America. Like I've only ever lived in America, so
Yeah.
like yeah, it's well, I will say like growing up a minority in America is fascinating. I grew up in this small town where weirdly there were two or three other Filipino families specifically in that small town. So like we were a minority, but like we had like our little community there too. So like it was like already built in. And I feel like when I was growing up, you know, I was really cognizant of the fact that, I was not white. Uh and I felt for a long time like pretty disconnected from like this like greater world that had so much more
Yeah.
diversity in it. But I also wasn't super like cognizant of it until I went off to college. So when I
Oh,
went to
okay.
college, I moved to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is, like a city. That's a real city. And so like I really got to know a little bit more about like, oh, okay, when you're in a bigger place, like people of all different walks of life live in such close proximity to one another. Oh, this is what the real world feels like. And so then I felt like where I grew up was this weird little idyllic small town that was kind of in its own little bubble.
Yeah.
Um, and I didn't realize until I had left, like that there were like some like small like microaggressions or like, you know, internalized uh
Yeah. Unfortunately.
prejudices that I didn't really realize existed until like I left and like was able to see it kind of from the outside. Um,
Yeah.
I think my brother could see it a little bit earlier than my younger brother could see it a little bit earlier than I could. Um, I had the blinders on or something.
No.
But,
I mean,
you
fair
know,
enough. Whatever
yeah.
whatever helps, I guess.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I kind of knew like right away because like it was pretty
Mm,
obvious. Because my
fair.
school was like I was like myself, my friend, and like a few others. We were like the only like people of color in our school for like the longest
Mm-hmm.
time. I'm talking like
Yeah.
for like 8 or 9 years, man. Like you know,
Mm,
so like it's that was something. But it's I feel like it's a lot. Things have gone a lot better now. So
yeah.
yeah,
That's
I don't.
good.
It's not as bad as it used to be. Like, oh my god, I won't even talk about that. Jesus
Oof.
Christ, it was like the 2000s were rough. They were
Oh,
something. Yeah,
real talk.
yeah. But yeah. I also saw that you actually got to stand on the picket line in the strike. Like, you actually got to walk with the people.
Yes, yeah, I've gotten to go to the first two pickets for the voiceover for the interactive strike. And
Yeah,
that was both of them were great. I thought it's really, really lovely to be able to like see my colleagues
yeah,
in the flesh. For voice actors, most of what we do is so solitary, so by
yeah.
ourselves. Yeah. So it was
That's
it was
fair.
cool to be like, oh, and there's a friend. Oh, and there's a friend, and oh, I know you. Like that's so cool to be like, oh gosh, we do like have a
Yeah, I was gonna say
community.
like what's like the majority is like walking and like protesting, but like I mentioned the other part is like, oh my god, it's you. What's up? How's it going?
Yeah. Like I ran into someone that I went to grad school with that I hadn't seen in a couple of years.
Oh
So like we
wow,
were just catching up and I was like, I haven't literally have not seen you since the world shut down. Like, tell me, what is
wow.
your life? Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool, man. Like I don't know. I haven't been to like I've been to protests, so like I know how
Hmm.
things can be in terms of like traffic and all that
For
kind of stuff.
sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I've never been one for like specifically like for actors and stuff. So like I'm glad it was a good time though, because like it looks like it sounds like you weren't being like forced off the streets by the police or anything like that. Or
No, no. I mean, like the police like were always like kind of standing off to the side, just making sure like nothing. They were like just making sure like nothing was getting what in their mind is out of hand.
yeah,
So, but not yeah, it wasn't a thing. Like, because I've been to like protests like during like the Black Lives Matter
mm.
movement or like after the like after Donald Trump was elected president, there was like the Women's March. So like
Oh yeah,
I
that's
was there for
right.
the Women's March. Yeah. So like I've
Yeah,
seen I've been in spaces that where it where the you could feel the tension more with law enforcement.
Yeah.
But for the actor strike, it's not like that.
Nah, it's fair enough. I'm glad I'm glad it's pretty much a bit more laid back, which I'm happy about. In a
It's like, it
in a
keeps the
way, yeah,
message on brand, like we're
yeah,
focusing on like what are we talking about? Yeah.
yeah. I feel like and touch where's wood? There's wood. Touch wood that the strike ends soonish.
I would
Yeah,
like that. I would like that. It's interesting. They published like the list of like what were the unions asks versus what were the companies asks,
yeah.
and like seeing where they like diverge is like very telling.
Mm,
I'm not surprised about what the companies are trying to add into the contract, because those are the loopholes for them to potentially
yeah.
like do more than they say they're doing.
Yeah, it's really interesting because like I do think us and the A of the I can sort of coexist, but it has to be to a point where there won't be like any dodgy loopholes that will screw people over. It
Right.
has to be like fully protected, but preferably I'd want it out of the arts forever. Yeah,
Right. And it's part of the problem is that I think we're all just waiting to see if legislation can get pushed through, but you know how
yeah,
slow like government is.
yeah,
Um, that's one thing is like waiting for legislation to go through. And then the other thing is just like the fact that we had to bargain for it at all means
mm,
that we have to talk about it being like a reality.
yeah,
And so like as much as we all don't want AI, period, um, there has to be something on paper that talks about it.
yeah,
And then unfortunately it kind of like goes to you individually on your individual contracts. Like, can you just say no? Is that
yeah,
you know what I mean? And is there any recourse to you just saying no? And I think that's like kind of the limitations of the contract and the limitations of where we are in terms of legislation. And
yeah,
it sucks. Like it sucks.
yeah.
It
Also,
sucks. It sucks.
yeah, it also sucks to know that I'm lesser quality, which is not really nice.
Ugh, that was that was just really stupid. It was just really stupid. And like it was just so stupid. I don't like obviously like, I don't ascribe to that, and so few of voice actors do subscribe to that
Oh
thought.
yeah,
Um, but if that's what one person who is the lead negotiator for our
so like,
union
hmm.
thinks, then that means that there are other people who think that, and I think we need to disabuse ourselves of that notion.
Yes, sir. You're so right. Yeah. I think I remember when that I woke up to that actually when I so it was really funny because like when I saw that I was like, huh? Okay. Then I saw my friends were messaging me about it. I was like, guys, we suck. No, this equality. I was like, what are you talking about? Then I was like, oh, okay. You done fucked up this time. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Getting slammed
Yeah.
getting slammed in the replies, mate. That is it's not
I
looking good.
know. The ratio was beautiful.
Yeah, oh my god, even like the apology got ratioed as well. So like
Yeah.
that's really funny. But I do hope that things will be okay soon-ish.
Yeah.
But
Like all that aside, like that the problem is like that distracts us from the real conversation, which
yeah,
is that we're striking because we want to give ourselves as much protection as we can from a thing that we can't say no to completely kind
yeah,
of legally. So, uh
yeah.
and another problem is that that statement is a very nuanced statement.
Really? That's really interesting because like normally when people strike, it's usually like for higher pay or money. But like I don't think we're doing that this time. It's not really money, it's more like well
Yeah, like
compensation.
there is wage increase like in their summer, but I think that's not even a
Yeah.
point of contention.
It's
Yeah.
more like it's more protections in like the compensation and money kind of aspect, which I'm actually really happy about because like in that case, it shouldn't be much of a hassle for studios to give us that, right? Right?
Yeah. It
Right?
shouldn't be. I mean, like, listen, what I heard the other day was that there are 50 titles, 50
Oh,
games that are signed to the interim agreement.
oh,
So
beautiful.
that
That's
means
lovely.
there are 50 productions that are cleared to work.
Oh,
Um,
beautiful.
so there is at least 50, yeah, 50 groups of people who said that's easy. That's an easy ask.
Hell yeah.
So why don't more
Yeah.
decide it's an easy ask?
Hell yeah. Um, I also wanted to ask as well because I have to know. Have you at this point in time has Anne Yatco played a mermaid yet?
Have I ever played a mermaid? I no, I don't think I have.
Oh, that needs to happen. That needs to happen. We gotta
I
come full
know.
circle.
I'm trying to think like have I really never played a mermaid? No. I've never played a mermaid. I've even played the other person in a scene against someone who was a mermaid. Oh my God.
You got that's gonna happen. We gotta make it happen.
Yeah, yeah,
Surely.
yeah. Yeah.
It's the, I don't know how, but it'll happen. Is there like any like sort of like things like because you mentioned that you grew up with cartoons and stuff like that. So like is like anything this is like a purely manifestation round. Or is like anything you like want to be in it at like some point like a dream project or anything?
Well, I've always wanted to be the voice of a Disney princess. So there's that.
Yes.
Yeah,
True.
that's like bucket list is being the voice of a Disney princess. And then I really, really, really want to break into like on that same vein, I want to break into like prelay animation.
Mm,
So, um, projects that are near, like shows that are near and dear to my heart are like Bob's Burgers, Adventure Time, Gravity Falls, Steven Universe. So like if I
very
could
good
be on
shows.
shows, if not those shows specifically, like if I could be on shows like that, that would make me very happy. Those are the kinds of cartoons that I love and like feel very formative to who I am today.
Yeah.
And so I would love to be on something like that for the next generation of people.
Yeah, I love Gravity Falls. I grew up on that for real.
Hmm.
It was such a good show. I actually rewatched all of it recently. It still holds up really well.
Yeah.
I kept saying like a lot of things about Gravity Falls coming back, and it was like there's like a thing where it's like if you can find you can type out some clues. I think it was like on some site, and if you type out Skibbity, then you get jump scared, and it's really funny. So I'm not
Of
even
course.
like I wouldn't even talk about the whole Gen Alpha brain rot memes. Like that's like beyond me at this point. That's what I
It's like
figured out. I
I'm
was
I'm very much too old for that.
so am I, man. Like I don't understand. Like I understand some of it. Like my sister is Gen Alpha, so like I understand like a little bit. But I just don't understand. Is this what millennials felt like when we talked about like MLG and shit?
Yes. Yes. As a millennial, yes.
But yeah, and I have one last question for you, my dude.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a big one, but what keeps
Uh-huh.
you going, Ann?
What keeps me going? Um, I think like uh as far as like work, the ambitions to be able to do those projects that I talked about, like yeah, though that keeps me going, like knowing that where I am now, like is like nowhere where not even close to where I want to be yet.
Yeah.
Like that keeps me going is that hunger, that ambition. But then also like on a more like grander sense, like what keeps me going, like my friends and family,
Mhm.
uh, like my husband is my best friend and, like we're just always looking for like the next cool thing to do, we want to have a family, like I love my
Yeah.
family and, doing things for them. I got to bring my brother and his wife and their two little girls to Anime Central because
Oh, that's
that
so
was in
nice.
Chicago and they live in the Chicago area. So I got to like get them passes to the show and they came on Sunday. And one of my nieces, my older niece, she's a huge fan of Sailor Moon.
Oh, that's
And
so
Sandy
sweet.
Fox,
Hmm.
who's the voice of Chibi Usa, was there. And so I got my niece was able to meet Sandy and Sandy gave her a signed print and like that made her like year like so getting to do stuff like that for like people that I love like getting to give back like that like really drives me.
Hell yeah. And you mentioned you wanted to start a family at some point.
Yeah.
I think you'd be the most amazing mom of all time.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Hell
you.
yeah. Would you actually? This is actually. I think we asked this like last time when I first did your class. But would you ever consider doing more teaching as well, or we'll see how it goes?
Yeah, yes, I would like to do more teaching and I think stay tuned because there should be an announcement soon if not
Okay, all
later.
right. Well,
Yeah,
but it
sooner or later there'll be an announcement.
depends when this comes out. Maybe it already be out by the time this goes
Fair
live.
enough. I have no idea like, what your production schedule's like, but yeah.
Oh yeah, but it's actually been going pretty well, surprisingly.
Good.
Um, yeah. So like, just to give you some context, so I started doing the series like back in 2022. I did like
Hmm.
this is like when I was in uni at the time. So I did 4 episodes in season 1. Season 2, we did like 8.
Okay.
Now we're doing like over 40. So like it's quite the
Wow, that's
jump.
amazing.
No, thank you, man. I think for the next season we might just do it to like 12 or 13, you know. I just wanted
Yeah.
to go ham because like it's been a while and I have a lot of free time now, so I'm actually really happy to do that. So
Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
hell
Heck yeah.
yeah. What's actually I wanted to ask, what's been your favorite like piece of merchandise of your character to collect as well?
Ooh, that's such a good question.
Yes.
Ooh, okay, so for Nobara, it's the is it the Kotobukiya one? Where's the fig arts?
Ooh, figure arts is really good.
The Kotobukiya one and the fig arts figures, like they're my two favorite Nobara figures. They're the big ones.
Yeah.
They come in like the big box. They're gorgeous,
Yeah.
absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, figure arts
I mean,
figures
it
are
was
so nice. They're
they're
so
so
beautiful.
good. Because I love the figure arts one because it has like the cursed energy like coming up and she's like jumping off of it. It's so good.
Hell yeah.
Um, I mean, like the Funko Pops are really rad, and I'm so blessed to have like Funko Pops of a character that I voice.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Are you are
So
you
they're also really cool.
I also want to know, are you caught up with the manga and stuff as well of Jujutsu Kaisen?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I've
Five
well,
chapters to go.
oh god, it is ending. That's so strange. Like My Hero Academia
Five.
just ended like not too long ago either, so
I know.
that's so
So
weird.
I think it's like like JJK manga ends like the 30th of September or something, and then Hunter x Hunter picks up like literally a week later.
Oh wow, okay. Good, perfect timing. Wow,
I know Hunter x Hunter's coming back,
yeah, it's been
baby.
how long's been hiatus for? Like over 10 years?
It's been a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. With that, this interview comes to a close. And thank you so much for coming on. You've been absolutely lovely. It's been lovely to
Oh,
see you again. My
thank you. It's really great seeing you.
hell yeah, my birthday twin. You're the only one I share a birthday with, you know.
Yes, we're
So
twins. That's
yeah,
right.
June 3rd supremacy. Let's
Hell
go.
yeah, let's go.
Hell yeah. But Anne, where can people find you on social media and stuff?
Yeah, so I am at Anne Yatco on everything. So that's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. That's even my Twitch handle. And I sometimes stream. I haven't been streaming at all lately, mostly because I was still trying to figure out like what to do with my video game streaming because obvious reasons. But I'll
Yeah,
figure
but
that out.
you've been all over the place. It's fine. Like
No, no.
it's okay. You've
Yeah.
been like literally out of cities, out of town for like many months. So like, do not even worry, man. I don't think people will hold it against you.
It's okay, it's okay. But I will get back to that eventually. But yeah, but that's where you can find me.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna put you in the hot spot for a second here as well.
Okay.
Who would you like to personally see on the OverVoice hot seat next?
Oh. Trying to think. I mean, Adam MacArthur would be a good person to interview.
Oh, I mean, that'd be nice. I don't know how to get in contact with him, but I'll try. Like KG would be would be great as well, but I think it'll be possible. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah,
Fair, fair. Yeah.
yeah. But
Have you had
I'll
wait, have you had June on yet?
Junior.
Yeah.
No, I've not. I've not had him on yet. I should have him on. I feel
You
like he
should
would
have
say,
June on. He has such he's so wise. He's got such wonderful wisdoms and
yeah,
like nuggets. I think it would be really, really good.
yeah. I've spoken to him before, with for coaching. So like, I'll see if I can convince him to do this. I
Yeah,
love
yeah, yeah.
honestly. You know how people say like, "What's my choose my dream guest on my podcast?" But like, anyone who says yes is my dream guest. Like, so
Fair.
like, yeah, like, so I really do appreciate you taking time out of your day to come here. You've been really busy, so
Oh,
like, I
of
really do
course.
appreciate you. You're so lovely to talk
No.
to. So thank
Oh, it's
you.
really nice chatting with you
Hell yeah. Thank you so much for coming.
too. Of
Thank you guys
course.
so much for watching, and we'll see you
Yay.
guys for the next interview. Episode 50, baby. Let's go.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.